Have you ever stopped to wonder why you think the way you do? Why you buy certain things? Why you follow certain rules? Why you even believe what you believe? What if I told you most of those choices weren't really yours? Scary, right? Because the truth is, from the moment you were born, an invisible force has been shaping you, guiding you, controlling you. And the worst part? You didn't even notice. This force has a name: social conditioning, the science of how society programs you to think, act, and feel a certain way. It's the reason you dress the way you do, the reason you feel guilty for breaking unwritten rules, the reason you stay silent when you actually want to scream. But here's the shocking part. You think you're free. You think you're in control. Yet your mind has been hacked long before you even knew how to spell your own name. Let me prove it. Imagine a baby just learning to walk. At first, it tries everything. It grabs, it screams, it explores. But then, society steps in. Don't touch that. Don't say that. Don't act that way. Little by little, the wild human spirit is domesticated, and eventually, the child learns to obey. Now fast forward. That same child grows up, goes to school. What happens there? Lines, uniforms, rules, grades, everything designed to reward conformity and punish rebellion. Sound familiar? It's not just school. Look around. Everywhere you go, the same patterns appear. At work, in relationships, even online. You're constantly told what's acceptable and what's not, what to post, what to like, what to cancel.
Think about it. When was the last time you had an original thought? One that wasn't influenced by culture, media, or peer pressure? Hard to remember, isn't it? That's because social conditioning is everywhere. It's in the commercials that tell you what beauty looks like. It's in the songs that repeat the same messages about love and success. It's in the movies where heroes always look the same. It's in the news that decides what you should fear today. And here's the scary science. Psychologists have been studying this for decades. Ever heard of Pavlov's dogs? He rang a bell, fed the dogs, and eventually the dogs salivated just from the sound. Congratulations, you're the dog, society is the bell. Every ad, every headline, every trend, conditioning you to respond automatically without thinking. Don't believe me? Let's test it. Why do you feel anxious when your phone buzzes? Why do you crave likes on social media? Why do you feel uncomfortable walking into a room dressed differently than everyone else? That's not instinct, that's programming. And the terrifying part? It works. Even the strongest minds fall for it. Even people who swear they're independent thinkers. Because social conditioning isn't about logic, it's about survival. Humans are wired to belong. Rejection feels like death to the brain. That's why ancient tribes banished rule breakers. That's why being different feels dangerous even today. So without realizing it, you conform, you bend, you obey. But wait, it gets darker. Because conditioning doesn't just control behavior, it controls belief. It decides what's right and wrong, what's normal and weird, what's success and what's failure. Think about money. Why is working 40 hours a week considered responsible, but trying something unconventional is seen as risky? Why is following the crowd safe when the crowd itself is often miserable? It's not logic, it's programming. And here's the kicker. The people who control the conditioning control the masses. Governments, corporations, religions, media empires.
They understand psychology, they understand fear, they understand repetition, and they use it. Not once, not twice, but every single day. Every ad you see, every slogan you hear, every viral challenge, every influencer trend. They're not accidents, they're strategies. They're conditioning you to desire, to obey, to consume. And the scariest thing? It doesn't stop when you grow up, it gets stronger. Because now, you enforce it yourself. You police your own thoughts. You silence your own voice. You punish yourself for stepping outside the invisible lines. Think about it. Ever had a crazy idea, but killed it because people would laugh? Ever wanted to speak up, but didn't because, what if they judge me? That's social conditioning working inside you. You don't even need the chains anymore. You've become your own prison guard. And here's a story you'll never forget. In 1961, psychologist Stanley Milgram ran an experiment. Volunteers were told to deliver electric shocks to a stranger whenever they answered a question wrong. The stranger screamed in pain, begged for mercy. But the authority figure in a lab coat said, "Continue." And guess what? Most people did. They pressed the button. They kept shocking, even when they thought they were killing someone. Why? Because they were conditioned to obey authority, to follow orders, to ignore their conscience. That's the power of social conditioning. It can turn ordinary people into monsters. It can silence morality. It can override human decency. And before you say, "I would never do that," ask yourself, how many times have you already obeyed rules that went against your values? How many times have you stayed silent when you knew you should speak up? How many times have you followed the crowd even when it felt wrong? That's not weakness, that's conditioning. But here's the good news. Awareness is the first step to freedom. The moment you see the strings, you're no longer the puppet. The moment you question the rules, you start breaking free. The moment you realize your mind has been programmed, you can begin to reprogram it. So how do you fight back? Simple. Ask questions, lots of them. Why do I believe this? Who benefits if I think this way? Is this really my choice or someone else's script? Stop consuming passively. Start thinking critically. Stop obeying blindly. Start observing patterns. Because here's the truth. Social conditioning only works when you don't see it. It thrives in the shadows. It controls the unconscious. But once you drag it into the light, it starts to lose its grip. And here's a secret most people don't know. The same science that's used to condition you can be used to liberate you. Just like repetition can brainwash you, it can also rewire you. Just like habits can enslave you, they can also set you free. It's about who's in control, society or you. So, what do you do now? Start small. Challenge one belief you've always held. Break one unwritten rule. Take one step outside the script. Notice how it feels. Scary? Yes, but also exhilarating, because for the first time, you're choosing. And here's the most powerful truth of all. The people who change the world are never the most conditioned. They're the ones who dared to question, the rebels, the outcasts, the misfits, the ones who saw through the illusion and refused to play by the rules. So ask yourself, do you want to live as a puppet, controlled by invisible strings, or as a human being, free to write your own script? The choice is yours, but remember, most people will never choose. They'll live and die inside the prison of conditioning. they'll never even realize the walls were fake. Don't let that be you. See the system, question it, break it, and finally be free. Because the scariest science of all isn't how society controls you, it's how easily you let it.